Hello to Mordheim, City of the Damned, a computerized version of Games Workshop's tabletop game, which they sadly don't, in a sense, support anymore, mostly because it didn't use so much of those figurines, and they're expensive and they want to sell more. But this is actually quite solid game, and in a sense feels quite appropriately working. Computerization of the lethality of generally Warhammer world, and Mordheim is based on the Warhammer Fantasy world, and its name is location of place of the city, which got a big magic meteor went to shit, and now crazy warbands try to gather all that refuse from that meteor hit. So it's time to make ourselves a new warband, and there are 6 of them. 4 original and 2 of them were DLC. Witch hunters, they are good, in a sense good guys that they wanna kill all the demons. That's and deviants and undead and disagreeing witch hunters, and then human mercenaries. They are just their basic regular trash henchmen goons who want to earn some money doing some very dangerous things. You could say these are the basic group. Sisters of Sigma, they wanted to actually they are at a monastery in Mordheim, but for some reason it survived, and now they are very heavily now they gather around all that warpstone called recluse, and of course, mostly because they know how dangerous it is. Cult of the Possessed, Chaos Worshippers, they are mutants, crazies, they worship a horrifying beast called Shadow Lord, if I remember right. And Skaven, filthy ratmen, real fast, they got poisons, all that, but generally are quite squishy morally. And undead, that group which is never running away, never at all, but as an opposite of that they don't actually know so much. But it's time to start the basic human mercenary warband, and once you have played this enough you can get to start so that you can start it. You get the group with all the possible gimmickry.
So you've decided to brave the city of the damned in search of gold and glory. There's no shortage of those who've tried before you. If you look hard enough, you'll find their bones littering the ruins. Mordheim doesn't forgive mistakes, so you'd better not make any. I'll say this for you. You've taken the first step to surviving. You've had the good sense to seek out Luther Wolfenbaum. I've forgotten more about this city than you'll ever learn. Listen to me, and you just might leave this place with the fame and fortune you're after. I'm not sure what oaths and vows bind you to Baron von Leitdorfer's service. I'm not really interested in the imperial pretensions of Reichland's Grand Prince either. You need to concentrate on one thing only, and that's the task immediately before you. Aye, there's wyrdstone in the ruins, ready for the taking. But there's other things in the ruins too. You've got those murdering maniacs from the Rock, ready to kill anyone they find with even the smallest shard on them. They're bad, but even worse are the degenerates who've taken to worshipping the comet that smashed Mordheim. They're twisted in both mind and body, and will happily dump your body into the pit as an offering to their Shadow Lord. You'll even see things you wouldn't believe prowling the ruins. The verminous underfold, the Skaven of legend, are quite real, I assure you. They'll steal your wyrdstone and gnaw your bones, given half the chance. Aye, the dangers are great, but if you were cowardly, you'd never have made the journey here. There's treasure to be had, if you're bold and ruthless enough to claim it. This city chews up the timid and the weak, so remember that, and keep your men strong. Do that, and you might just survive.
That was the intro, and it's now time to all kinds of get myself a warband ready, which I'm gonna do skip a little bit further just to see how it works, so I can then show it. And here is the warband of the dead guys, or better say just dead guys. There's the captain of it, he's called Bruno, and there's a couple of henchmen, a warrior priest of Ulrich, or better say wolf priest of Ulrich, and a young blood called Gustav. And there's a big monstrosity ogre, they are impressives, and its name is Gung. And there's a couple of henchmen with bows, we are shooters, and a couple of goons. Yeah. They are gonna go through a lot of these during this game, as the difficulty level is merciless. It's absolutely savage. But now the group is ready, so time to go to the campaigning. Yeah, you can do basic missions, and well, their level of difficulty is vary. Sometimes they're hard, sometimes they're deadly, and sometimes they're brutal, although that was not the order. But now all the missions are basically just regular, so it's time to go and pick this mission. Just to go, and the guys are going. But you could say that
scouts have reported a rival warband in the vicinity. Before you can find them, a heavy fog settles over the ruins. Unable to pick up the enemy's trail, your warriors deploy from their wagon and spread out to sweep the area in search of your foe.
Yeah, you could say that the basic level of difficulty in this game is quite merciless in the single player game. Mostly because you must play strategically. You must think that do you dare to take any risk or something, that you may suffer losses that you can't just replace, while the enemy, let's say the computer controlled opponent, does not play in long game. It just plays against you to ruin your game, period. Be annoyance to you. That makes it the priorities completely different. It can play completely crazy and vicious against you. Well, you can't actually just focus on playing against them. You must focus on much longer term of progress. Well, the basic priorities of the game are simple. Just get to the battlefield, gather as much as wyrdstone and treasure, and don't die. So time to get started.
A new round has started.
And your team has a different initiatives. You can look around the battlefields, and you can even look out the map of the battleground to scout ahead some wyrdstone. And it's all of me quite in front of me, and I just made automatic deployment, which might not always be the smart move, but it makes the game go much more faster. But yeah, my goons are ready. They got blunt instruments to smack things with. And this circle indicator shows how far you're going. And the basic rule is always good that don't set off your goons alone. It doesn't matter what they are, but don't go alone. And of course the initiative value demands that which way you're going. You can attack limited amount of times, and you can also move and act also limited amount of times. Well, it's time to see how this battlefield goes, and you can remove all the basic parts. And here's the ogre. Ogres are more or less, or better say, impressives are usually big, huge, and immensely powerful, meaning that they most likely they don't just win the battles for you, they most likely do very much damage to you. But of course, when you have impressive in your group and fielding him, there will be another on the enemy side, which means You can't just get an ogre and hope to run into some basic goons and mince them apart with your bare hands and be lucky that, hey, they didn't have anything too dangerous. Nope. They're gonna have their own nasty bastard, which, knowing what the enemies are, might be something really nasty. But I don't think I'm facing undead at this moment, or Skaven. Skaven would be moving much faster. But I hope I can show how these basic words work. And now the young blood, he started here. Going forward, and of course on the map you can see the enemy's wagon really long way from here, and it's meant to be that kind of goal that from where you can take their token and win a lot. Weaken their morale quite big time, but generally you could say that it's not worth it. Mostly because just more direct tactic of killing enemies however you see them is usually much more viable in long and short run of the game. So need for any fancy maneuvers is reduced. I always do a bit of checking where my troopers are, and you can of course backtrack your goings and see wherever you were going. And the warrior and the wolf priest with his big choppy thing gets to gather some wyrdstone, a big chunk of it, cluster of it. But when you gather it, you're gonna most likely suffer a warp effect, which more often than not does bad to you. But it's not cripplingly bad, it's just no, it did something good. Green arrow means you get something good. Red arrow means you got something bad. Now I got both. And of course warrior priests in the Warhammer Fantasy universe are able to use magic. So time to give Ulrich's gift to my ogre. With success. Sometimes your spells don't work. So let's bless again. Now the captain. Can't even remember what this does, but there can't be anything bad about using some enchantments. Yeah, boys, come on. Let's try to stick together so the enemies have more difficult time trying to beat our group. No sight of the enemy yet. Well, which is quite odd, but this scenario is something that which makes it so that not much enemies appearing. Maybe they aren't particularly fast ones. And one little hampering part about the impressives is that the fact that they cannot pick up anything. They can do only one thing, which is walk around, take hits and give hits, which is what they excel in. Ah, looks like I am facing undead. That might explain why their morale was so low. And undeads have a quite nasty impressive on their own. But I hope I can give them some resistance. And they have one of the most, perhaps the most nastiest captain unit of the entire game, Vampire, which is a monster and capable of doing lots of nasty things. And there it is! And it even got a useful buff from a trap. But it got ambushed by Ogre. Ogre got hit. So it's now gone to the good old-fashioned hand-to-hand, or better say axe-to-axe. And impressives do dish out a huge amount of damage. But that's their job. They're meant to do that. So that they are quite handy as a wall breaker, or what's the word, spearhead, or vanguard was the fancy term. They go first and they engage the nastiest things of the you are facing. And of course, knowing that the ogre is a scary monster, it doesn't get intimidated by vampires' presence, meaning I got a bit of lucky. Oh, and I got a load of war dust on my face, meaning I cannot take ranged attacks as well as I used to, but they're not a peril at all when you are facing with vampires. Vampires don't have ranged comb ability at all. Or per se, they do have, but it's very, very, very non-existent, you could say. And still trying to get to here, going to the upper levels of the buildings, which are mostly just ruined wrecks. Still trying to get ready up here, ready to put a bullet arrow to any unpleasantness there can be expected to be. And there's no compass or anything like that to really make it so that make it easier for you to move around. And the warrior priest or the wolf priest, prepare to use your magics. I am not engaging the vampire with my warrior priest, even though that would be in a sense his job, because vampires are very dangerous and you never want to play too friendly with this game.
A new round has started.
So yes. Okay, henchman. Alright, not going a bit different route. The warpstone should always be, or better said, the wyrdstone should always be your main priority. So you want to gather it as much as you can and not engage enemies instead. At the beginning this game is very difficult. He's mean looking man, although a bit crude at modern technology standards, but mean looking dude anyways. Yeah, a couple of local thugs out with heavy sticks, and yeah, that's it, and bad nasty attitude. That all, and I have the basic instructions of go and kill everything. The vampire appears to be quite armored. I hope they don't have much of zombies, for zombies are quite sneaky bastards, in the sense that you can kill them as much as you want, but they don't count as losses for the enemy warband or your warband, so you can use them as a meat shields or something. But I hacked the vampire down with my ogre. Yep, The vampires are not as horrifyingly monstrous, evil as you might hope them to be. And there's another weakling thing. That's called a dreg. It's a hero unit for the undead, and meaning basically it's a human servant of the vampires. They can actually shoot, and they are not immune to fear or anything like that, so they are quite but as my ogre called him to be handled, it's history. Next turn he's just chopped up to pieces. Yeah, he's mean looking dude. About 10 feet tall. Ah, and that's a ghoul. They are the basic goons of the vampire faction. It tried to climb a wall, didn't succeed. Now it went stupid. Oh. It's carrying 2 weapons. And the vampire apparently carries a heavy armor, so time to hopefully loot it. Maybe. Or better say no, as my warrior well, here's the young blood. See what's he carrying? Oh, just a bow. Well, bow is a ranged weapon, so loot that anyway. Not armor, you can't loot, which is quite annoying that sometimes the clearly obviously equipment you can't take, like armor or helmets. But now the young one has gotten some armor as well. Over to say he's got some loot stolen. Yeah, he looks young and lanky. Much more guts than common sense. But that would be exactly what I would assume. Ah, there's one of their impressive over there, and it's a big one. That's called crypt horror. They are dangerous and vicious and unpleasant. And my basic guns have a quite short range. So I'm gonna get a bit further and get ready for do some overwatching, so when any enemy would show up again, I will shoot them then. And you do just loot all the nasty fine stuff it had, just because, hey. And you are going here. I think I am not actually quite accurately managing to show the very nasty level of difficulty this game will have, especially once you start to do those so-called campaign missions. Oh, that was a dangerous trap. But there's a bit of wyrdstone to be cooked, so time to get ready. And he's scared. Oh, it was not Dreg, it's a necromancer. He tried to make a spell me, which backfired on him. But he takes out the weapon, a spear. And of course the computer usually doesn't arm its units with the most sane manner of being of the most. Oh, that's just money. Meaning that it has spellcasters with very heavy armors and all that. Time to bring the big axe to the bad guy and try to bring the big axe again to him. The warrior priest hacked him down like a piece of meat he is. Now I'm stealing. Oh, I can't steal any of his stuff, mostly because my inventory was already full. But I did hack him down.
A new round has started.
Oh, there's something. Oh, there's a zombie over there. Look, wobbling about. They are pests. And when enemy has them, they're pests. And when you have them, they're tar pits. Something you just better hope to not have to deal with. But let's be ready for if the zombie decides to come down, I can just go and start to batter it to pieces. Anything up here? Nope. And the battlefields are quite randomly strewn with all kinds of rubble, junk, and trash, but that can be expected, being the place being completely overrun with all kinds of horrifying mutation-inducing things. And of course the computer's AI is also usually quite stupid, as in it just wants to cause you that pain. It doesn't care about anything. It's stupid. But stupidity doesn't matter when you have things like let's see, biased random number guard on your side, and the fact that you can just play stupid without caring about long-term consequences with doing damage to the other. So yeah, it's biased against you. Not friendly at all, computer, I mean. But I've caused them quite lots of damage by killing a necromancer and one of their. And if I would now climb up, I would get to engage the zombie, but I do not. Mostly because, so I'm gonna just pick fight with this ghoul. It ambushed me, managed to do a charge and hit me, but I got 2 bigger sticks of pain than it does. And of course, so I can just, yeah, it got critical hit. And I just chopped it apart. Ghoul also went down. Oh, I'm confused by ugly smelly mists. And I cannot climb up. So I just walk around being stupid. And dig my nose. Although it is not actually stupid, it's actually doing... Yeah, it's over there. That stupid critter over there is just up there thinking about what the hell am I supposed to do, digging its nose and trying to get into whatever thing it's about to do. So I'm gonna put an arrow bolt to it and reload the weapon. And shoot it again. Yep. And it's so stupid that it's not about to even leave that place. Oops, and missed. Yes, firearms do miss. But the dueling pistols are usually quite fast to make use, so I'm gonna switch my weapons to close combat weaponry, sword and a shield, just in case. To wait, does the ghoul crypt horror have anything smart to say, or does it just wanna wander around looking stupid? Because if it just stays there being stupid, I can just pepper it full of arrows and kill it that way, and it doesn't become any smarter than it already might be. Approaching from the flank. Oh yeah, I'm going to the wrong direction. There it is again. And I missed. Trying to get to the bit of higher ground so I can shoot next time. Hopefully better. And now I'm just gonna be here ready to ambush that zombie. Come on, zombie, jump down so I can smash you to bits.
A new round has started.
And now trying to climb up the hill. Oh, nope, failed. And if you fail, you get damage, which is annoying, but expected. Ah, god damn it. Time to... Well, let's not pick a fight with that thing. Just stay here and wait for it to come down. Come on, idiot. Jump down. Oh, it's about to do some turnarounds. Smart one. Oh yeah. There was a bit of pathway which I hadn't explored there, so my ranged attacker is now been engaged by zombie. But he hopefully has no fear, for the is here. Slowly wobbling up the stairs. Oh, yep. Found the zombie. Hits it hard. And beat it to the pulp. Yeah, impressives are very powerful and very useful, but they have a problem of, you know, luring in more opposing impressives. Well, now it's... I got the weapon reloaded. No time to try to get to the... Yeah, there it is, but it's quite covered. Well, I missed. No reason to for that. Reload your arrows. Prepare to shoot it. Yeah, it got an arrow to it. And well, the reloading of the arrows usually becomes more difficult after you have... when you keep shooting more of them. Well, I don't need any mementos, I just want to loot your weapons. So I'm gonna turn over here, after putting an arrow to the enemy's skull. There's a couple of zombies over there. But a not big fight with them, so I can but prepare to be still be ready to shoot them if they decide to come get aggressive. And now the captain, who is quite potent close combat fighter, is preparing himself to attack the undead as well by making an ambush. Come on, zombies, do your moves so I can come and hack you apart. And of course, whenever you cast a spell, there's a risk that you get a divine wrath or miscast or however you wanna call it. Waiting. Come on, zombie, jump down so I can chop you up.
A new round has started.
Okay, you're not jumping down, so I'm coming up. Ah, there's actually not a zombie, that's a henchman. So time to run at him and hit him to the head with a stick. That's misformed, malformed, ugly goon monstrosity called Greg. Those are what? Unnecessary. Being ready just to let my other guys to have a movement. Yes, the game is very turn-based, so you do have to do some thinking ahead. Missed. Oh damn. But even that gives him a bit of... Oh, and it attacked and missed me. Come on, jump down. Yeah, it starts to move. I couldn't do anything else but that. And computer controlled big things like impressive aren't usually that good at maneuverings, as in they get easily get stuck in doorways and all that, even as you can walk through them, but you can also delay your actions so when the others of your group move about. And there it is, just a little bit of tugging forward and being stupid. Yeah, heroes usually get at the beginning get 2 hits, and he looks bad. He's got a hump in his back. Time to pick out my halberd and do a bit of attack from the side to the drag. He got hurt. Halberds are actually quite useful weapons. They do a lot of damage, and the ogre can't get through that pathway. Oh damn. Well, but they can do... Yeah, maneuverings of the big guys isn't usually so handy. And the fact that they can't pick up anything. Okay. Oh yeah, it must be the Uric spell which makes me unable to use the ranged weapons. Did a bit mistake over there, but shit happens. And the fact that I know that the impressive is just so stupid over there, doesn't do anything. It's no worry at all. So now time to pick up a charge against that guy. And he got a critical hit and got stunned. So you can being ready to block. I'll just switch out weapons to a good old-fashioned stabby thing. And stab the zombie. And be ready to dodge. Climb up. And there's a zombie to be charged, so I will charge it. And I miss it with a big swing of my axe. And you doing failing my magics as well. Being ready to dodge whatever swing there is about to become. And that zombie is carrying a sword and a shield. Yeah,
A new round has started.
That this is just old-fashioned slugfest blood bath. Most likely would end to the death of the shooting guy, but knowing that how the come on, boy. Smack it dead. And now I'm gonna run away from it, even if it gets a hit. I can now get rid of it. Oh, yep. I am now out of peril. And there's the stunned guys are usually something that you get a free hit, so it's time to smash his skull in. Like that. And I cannot leave as I'm still connected with a zombie. Okay. And enemies just broke up and ran off. So this fight showed how the basic gameplay works, but it just didn't show how absolutely merciless this game actually is, because once you get further you're gonna find that this game is hard and it's quite repetitive, so it's no need to make any long series of this. A good conversion from the tabletop game, yes, but not so much of a great game, not so pleasantly adjusted about difficulty.